Hi, I'm Jen. This is All of My Plants. Thank you for checking out my channel, or welcome back to my channel, whichever the case may be. This is part 2 of a philodendron tour because I have quite a few philodendron, so I decided to split it up into multiple videos. Without further ado, we're going to get right into the philodendrons. The first one I'm going to show you, or the first ones I suppose, are Philodendron pink princesses, and they are kind of everywhere. Some are bigger, some are smaller. I had a larger one and I cut it up because it was not behaving, so now I have a bunch of philodendrons in varying stages of distress. Like I said, I had a larger one. It was, you know, putting out pretty good sized leaves, and it was climbing, and I chopped it up because this was about the best the variegation got. And this one's actually doing okay. We had a few sticky leaves. You can see some damage on that one there. The variegation isn't great on this one. It's okay, it's not bad, right? It's just got a few flecks. It has more variegation on the back of the leaf than it does on the front, or more pink. The newest leaf looks like there might be a little bit of pink on it. It's not much to look at yet. I'm not going to fidget with it too much. But I've always had problems with this particular plant, whether it's the variegation or leaves getting stuck and coming out looking, you know, not, you know, chef's kiss, not great. I do like the plant though when it's behaving particularly. I had a bunch of these around. This one needs water. I had a bunch of them around, but I have the better looking ones anyway. I've traded or sold or given to friends, you know, whatever the case may have been. I think this was on my problem plant list, or maybe I just mentioned it when I was talking about another philodendron that gives me a hard time, which I'll show you that one next. But yeah, the pink princess, leaves get stuck. It does well when it's more mature. And I probably should have left it alone, except that I wanted better variegation, which I have some outside, which you'll see in, I think maybe part 4 of this tour, I'm not sure, that do have better variegation and are growing better, but, you know. Then this is one of the Philodendron white knights. There's a few of these around. I've kind of thinned them out a lot. I think I have this one and maybe one other one. The petioles, that white on there, that's what I love, and that's how you know it's a white knight, not a white wizard, or, you know, whatever. But yeah, it's a Philodendron white knight. That's the only variegated leaf on this particular plant, and it looks rough. It does very much the same thing as the pink princess. They stick in the petiole. This also needs water. Can you hear it? They stick in the previous petiole from the previous leaf. It never seems to look great. This was slightly more mature before I chopped it up, but it had no variegation, and that's why I chopped it up. And I can't say that I really noticed that this one grew more easily or smoothly when it was more mature than, you know, this. The pink princess, I would say that it did grow as it matured a little bit better, less likely to do the Cinderella foot thing. So then this is the original plant is outside now, but this is a cutting of the Philodendron Camposportuanum, which is a lovely plant in my humble opinion. I just potted it not too long ago. I think I potted it on camera. I'm pretty sure I did. In one of my chores videos or propagations videos. You can see where I cut it, or where I cut the next cutting. So that's exciting that this one's doing something. I think I had 2 or 3 of this plant, I'm not sure. This is the only one that's doing anything. The top cutting, the point, there was a growth point on it that has died back, but it has a new little bump starting. So there's hope for it yet. It's a great plant though. I love this plant. Outside it gets, inside this nice dark color, outside sometimes red, almost purplish. It's a good plant. Larger leaves, much larger leaves. This is a semi-mature form, this leaf is. When it's younger, I'll show you on the plant that's outside. I think once again part 4, you'll see it. I'll show you on that one that the leaf shape looks a lot more like a heart leaf philodendron of some sort. So how about we do one of these big ones and get it out of the way. Okay. This is, if I don't beat the microphone to death, this is Philodendron Jose Bono. I just showed this plant not that long ago and it was not this big. But I may have mentioned in that video that this plant is a fast grower. It is a lovely plant. I'm trying to show you that leaf there. That is not the newest leaf. That is the second to newest leaf that's waggling at the camera. I did try to restake it a little bit better, but you'll notice it's still kind of wobbly in there. I don't want to let it wobble too much and snap it. But where's the new leaf? That is the new leaf. Here. It's a pretty good size one. Pretty good size. This is one of my favorite plants. It just grows fast. I think I lucked out getting this plant when I got it, because I just bought one on Etsy, and that didn't go well. I bought it, it was a node, a rooted node that had like 2 or 3 little leaves coming out of the node there. It was, you know, active growth. And I want to say I paid $150 for that at the time. But she messaged me like 4 days later. She's like, oh hey, I went to go check on your plant to ship it, and it, you know, was a little bit on the dry side. Do you want me to still ship it? And I was like, what do you mean on the dry side? She sent some pictures and it just looked wilted, but it still looked, the node was not at all shriveled. It was still plump and round. The root looked good, and the leaves just looked a little wilted, but not desiccated, I wouldn't say. They didn't look overly dry. I was like, yeah, that's fine. What I didn't realize is that she was going to take it dry and put it in the box and ship it just like it was. I thought maybe she'd water it first. I don't know why I assumed that, but I did assume that. But anyway, I got this one, I think about a year later. I went and got this one. So, I don't know if I've had it a year, this one, yet. Maybe about a year. No, maybe a little over a year. It's done great. And it grows faster and faster and faster rather than, you know, leveling off, it seems like. But I love it. I love that you never know what you're going to get as far as the variegation goes, the pattern on the leaves. It's just beautiful. It is just beautiful. You might get half moons, which I had one down here. Not that it's very visible anymore. It does come out a bright white, and then it kind of hardens off to varying shades of green, various shades of green. But it's beautiful. So yeah, and the easiest plant ever. The seller was fantastic. I wish I could remember, but it was an Etsy shop, different Etsy shop. This was not the shriveled node. This came as I think it had 4 leaves, and I paid less for it than I did for the dead node. This one is pretty new to me. I actually just got it a few days ago, and it's already got hair on it. How do you like that? This is a Philodendron Atabapo NC. I'm gonna take the tag out. Philodendron Atabapo NC, very well rooted. I got this from Thomas Gardens in New Church, Virginia. One of my very favorite nurseries. This is the biggest leaf on it. Is it the newest? No, this is not the newest, but it is the largest. Head test. The color of this plant, I don't know if it's coming off very well. It's a thick leaf. The color on the backs is wonderfully burgundy. Is that burgundy? I'd call that like burgundy or purplish. I don't know if we're getting a true look at that. But the front of the leaf is like a, do I compare it to Cebu Blue? No, it's bluer than Cebu Blue. Or it's bluer than my Cebu Blue. I don't know another plant that has quite this color. I wouldn't compare it to the Billietiae either. From a distance, you might actually confuse this plant with the Billietiae, just based on the leaf shape. But the petioles are different, and the color is different. Let's see. So yeah, Atabapoense, Billietiae. So you can see some of the differences there. But I haven't had this plant long enough to tell you much about it, other than it is growing massive amounts of yellow mushrooms. When did that happen? It had a little bit of like some kind of fungus that I could see when I picked it up and brought it home. But it has just, there we go. It has just blossomed since then. So I guess I'm going to be repotting this just to kind of knock down some of that fungus, some of those little mushrooms. That, and I'll treat it. I already did once actually. I'll treat it with a fungicide, whatever you'd like to call it. But yeah, I don't know enough about this plant to tell you much about this plant, other than so far I take care of it like I do my other philodendron. It's a very thick leaf, almost leathery. Not as stiff as maybe you would think. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not a thin leaf at all. It's very thick, and lovely, and I hope it does great, because this was a wish list plant for me. Not that I've had many wish list plants, but this one has been on there a long time, and I think I tried to import it once and it didn't go well. Okay, and this one here is Philodendron Silver Sword, which is lovely, beautiful. It has recently switched from growing from the previous petiole to growing from its own cataphyll. So that's cool. You can see where it switched. Here it was still coming from the previous leaf, and then this one came out and it had no sheath, no place like that for that. So this leaf here is the first one that has come from a cataphyll, and there it is. Still kind of hardening off. It's very new. The color of this plant, the color. I really hope that's coming off as beautiful as I see it. I mean, it's a stunning plant. I do like that kind of gray, blue, green coloration on plants. And this one, I'd say the color on this is more blue than Cebu blue, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know, it's beautiful though. Beautiful. I just recently staked it. I have another one of these outside, which you will see, I think, in the very next part of this philodendron tour. And it does not have this particular leaf shape. All of the leaves are shaped very much like this one, and they might be about that size. But yeah, you'll see it. It's a taller plant than this, but it's just not, I don't know if it's a different type. Like, it looks the same exact color. It might even be more silvery, I don't know. Maybe that's the difference between inside and outside. But they're both beautiful. I just really like the more mature leaf shape on this one. Not that I dislike that one, it's just been a thrippy problem plant for me frequently. So, you know, I'm not hating on it. That one, can you see it? Have I changed the camera angle, or have I hung something in the way? Yeah, you can't see it. Not really, you can see the queen right there. Acclimated really well to household conditions. The humidity is 43% in here right now, so it's done quite good as far as that goes. But this is Philodendron Brantianum, and it's angry and full of rage. Somebody asked about it. I am re-recording this video so that I can tell you about it. Because I never mentioned it in any other video ever. Philodendron Brantianum, you can see it's does this wonderful thing where it has bare nodes. It is in disgusting leca. I neglect this plant because it's a spider mite magnet. It never grows well. I have several of them. Does it have spider mites right now? Yeah, it looks like it might. This plant, I actually, when I treat it for pests, I treat it with tea tree oil, alcohol, dish soap, and a spray bottle. And the tea tree oil does leave residue. It is a visible residue. But that residue also seems to stick around with the plant and prevent spider mite reoccurrence for much longer than anything else I've ever used. Now, I'm not recommending that you spray your plants with that. I'm just telling you that's what I have done for really pestiferous plants, and it does prevent them for much longer. I mean, months. This is not a great example of this plant, but this is what this one looks like anyway. If I think of it, I will show you some more. I have some in terrariums. They do better in terrariums than they do in open air in my home. And I think part of that is because the spider mites have a harder time finding it, and humidity. It seems to be one that appreciates a little bit more humidity than I have ambiently in most of my house. So anyway, that's that one. I don't want to hold it too long because I'm just convinced it's covered in cooties. Then I have these little guys. See if you can kind of see what's going on in here, because this is where they live, in the bottom of the cabinet back there. They all get the same conditions. Then the plant that I'm showing you, specifically, let me show you up close, is the Philodendron Florida Ghost. These are all the same age, they all get the same conditions, and let me show you why I mention that, because they've been potted just as long. Same age, same conditions, same soil, same watering schedule. I don't water each individual plant, I just dump it in the bottom of that thing, the bottom of that little bin. The color is quite nice, but once again I have so many growth points on here that it is absurd. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this little plant. And this one here, it was one plant. I think it has turned into 2 or 3 down in there. I don't know, maybe 2 I'm gonna say. Which, I mean, it's lovely. It is lovely. And why I mention once again that they have the same conditions is because look at this one. It's very green. Very green, same conditions as this one. Same lighting. They don't have to compete for light with other plants above them or anything like that. They're just under the grow light. So they might be shading each other out a little bit at this point, I'm not sure. One of these had an interesting patch that had a desire to be variegated. This one here thought it wanted to be variegated. Can you see on the edge there? But it's not. It is not variegated. It's just pretty. It's a lovely little freckle, birthmark on that leaf. The leaves do stick like this all the time. I guess you can kind of see right there it's stuck. I rescue them. I do. I'm that person. I unstick leaves. I do it to the pink princess occasionally. There we go. I just kind of slid it out. If there's much resistance, I don't mess with it. But these leaves do stick all the time, and sometimes they will come out looking quite rumpled from that. Here's one that came out quite rumpled from being stuck for a very long time before I finally went, should I rescue you? Let's see. Nope, that one's got too much resistance. I'm not going to try to free that one. I will, but I will like water the plant first because they are starting to dry, and I might even mist it and then let it sit for a few minutes before I rescue it. Because I find that if I don't, as this sheath dies, it shrinks around the leaf, and then the end of the leaf will die off in there. So I'm a rescuer. Here's a, they're usually much pointier, but that was stuck in the sheath. Here's one, like I said, I rescued that one, and you can see it's much pointier. But yeah, so this plant has been a pain in my butt. It was on my problematic plants video, or frustrating plants video, but I love this plant. I do, I really do. I'm just a complainer, I guess. And I don't mean to be. I really don't. I had this big fantasy in my head that I'm going to get one single vine growing up from one of these, and it doesn't appear to be so out of any of them. Like, this one's quite nice, but it is quite clearly at least 2 in there now, even though I started with 1. So yeah, the smaller would be this one, and then there's these 3 leaves from the larger one. You can kind of see down there at the bottom. But yeah, it's pretty. It's beautiful. It misbehaves, and I'm kind of to the point where I'm just going to accept it. It is what it is, and I'm just going to end up potting them all together or something. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a giveaway. That could be fun. Or, I don't know. I don't know. I have given some to friends, but I have oodles of them right now. They're, you know, some here, there's some in a terrarium. I think there's one in my bedroom. They're just, and I don't know how these all came out, but this one won't go back in. Like, I don't see a spot for it. It's okay. And I think for the rest of them, I'm going to take you off there, because one is there on that pole there next to the wall, between the wall and the cabinet, and then the other one is kind of around the corner here. So I'm going to take you off there and we're going to go get up close and personal with them. Okay, so this is Philodendron, what I believe to be anyway, Philodendron mayoeye. And it has been on this pole for a little while. I think I've shown this plant before, maybe in January or February, I'm not sure. It was on one of my favorite plant videos. One of my favorites videos. One interesting thing about this is, since I've had it on the, well, support in general, if you look at this leaf, you'll see these splits on the side. They're quite far from that mid-rib there, right? And then as we go up here to nearly the top, these splits are quite deep, and they go pretty close to that mid-rib. I just think that's interesting. I'm going to very, very soon propagate this, because it is just one vine in this pot here. And I mean, it's doing fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I probably underwater it terribly, but you'll see that this leaf is quite a good size, right? It's the size of my hand at least. And then this one here, I don't know, it seems smaller to me. This one here also seems smaller, and that one there I don't have much hope for. Also, the where the new leaf comes from, the caterpillar there, they used to be red, a very bright red. Since the plant has matured some, we don't really have that color anymore, which is unusual. It's blushing slightly, but you can see on the back of the leaf there's like a pinkish orange color. Salmon, maybe, what we call that, if we'll focus. But yeah, I don't know if that helps you or not. I've heard that this is not mayoeye, that it's radiatum. I've also heard that it's Philodendron Tahiti. I don't know, I just go with mayoeye because that's what it looks like to me. That doesn't mean it is. That's just, you know, my opinion. So yeah, we're gonna propagate all the way back to here. And so we'll do a single leaf cutting, single leaf cutting, single leaf cutting. And I probably, this top section, probably going to air layer that so that hopefully we can get that going faster. So I'm going to start that soon, and I'll keep you updated on the progress. The other plant I took you off there for, please ignore my sad Rhaphidophora. I don't love that plant, and it shows, is my Philodendron Splendid. I do love this plant, and it probably doesn't show either because it's down here in the corner on the floor, but I do love it. It is beautiful. This leaf here, it got stuck. I think we had some pests. I don't know, we had a lot going on there. Pardon this string of hearts that wants to interject itself. But it's a beautiful plant. I have this outside as well, and I have a few babies of it around. I'm not sure if I've shown this one before, but I promise you it is beautiful. Beautiful. If you don't have one, get one. One of the best Philodendron hybrids. It's everywhere. This is the newest leaf. Not quite so large. It was like flopping off the pole and I didn't realize it. It never grabs. None of mine have yet. I think I have two that are attached to a pole. Whether or not they're grabbing it, you know, remains to be seen. But yeah, this is one of the older leaves. It's all dusty, so dirty, but look at the sheen. Can you see it? Oh, so pretty. It's a good plant. I really want that one to size up. Someday I'll get it there. But yeah, Philodendron Splendid. I think that's melanocrism verrucosum cross. Yeah, I believe that's what that is. Okay, and then this guy here. Can you guess what this is? This poor little thing here. Isn't it cute though? This is Philodendron melanocrism. It is not the happiest melanocrism you'll ever see. but it does have some nice little fuzzy aerial roots. They're cute. So, but it's quite angry down there. It has just come out of a cloche. It has just come out of a cloche. It was in moss, and so I've made it double angry. I took it out of the cloche and I've put it in soil, and it's in regular household conditions. This plant's never been happy. It has kind of always been a little bit angry. I've overwatered it, underwatered it. This is not even the original plant that I'm talking about. This was grown from a node. I think this was the second go around actually with the melanocrism. So this will be its third iteration. These little guys here are also part of the third iteration of the Philodendron melanocrism. The saga never ends in my home. I think this is just 5 little single nodes that actually have rooted. And that looks like they need water. But yeah, if it'll focus. There we go. Super cute. Super cute. Wish me luck with it. Because I've struggled with melanocrism and probably varicosum more than any other. And I do have varicosum. I'm not going to drag you through the house to show you because you wouldn't be able to hear me anyway for birds screaming. There are birds literally right next to it. But yeah, those are the melanocrism. I know I have another one. What was the other one? Pedatum. I think you'll see one more melanocrism outside when we get there, but it's not much more impressive. It's really not. Maybe slightly happier than that one. This one here is Philodendron pedatum. I have another one of these outside that is, you know, growing up a pole stake. That. This one here, it's lovely. It's a good plant. It doesn't ask for much. I put it in low light. I put it in highlight. Here's one of the baby leaves. Isn't it cute? So cute. It doesn't ask for much. I mean, I've forgotten to water it. I've literally forgotten where I put this plant. Well, not this one, but the other one. I've literally forgotten where I've put it. Found it like a month and a half later. And yeah, we lost a couple leaves at the bottom, but I watered it. The roots didn't rot and it looked great afterwards. So another one that is tough. It is so tough. Everything I can throw at it. And I'm not trying to torment this plant, but it takes it. It's kind of great in that way. It's very tolerant of my nonsense. So this is just 3 little cuttings that I stuck in here. And they rooted pretty quickly. And they've done well. They've done really well. There's some more somewhere. I'm not sure where. That's what happened to the rest of this plant. But yeah, the one that outside actually looks quite well. And I will take you out to see that soon. But I think, I may be telling you tales, but I think that is all of the philodendrons I have in the house now, plus re-recorded to show you the Brantianum that I always forget. So I think that's everything for this video. Parts 3 and 4, I believe it will be 2 more parts, will both be in the greenhouse outside in the heat. Hopefully I can get a cloudy day or something here very soon. Because it's no joke, 37 to 43 degrees Celsius out there, like between 100 and 110 right now. So it's pretty warm. It's pretty warm, and that's with fans going, vents open, you know, the whole 9 yards. In the afternoon it's better, but then the mosquitoes find me. Yes, I do use mosquito bits in there. I use mosquito bits in my water in there. It does help, but it's something you have to really keep up on. I should own stock in whatever company it is that makes mosquito bits at this point, because that's how many I use. So, you know, bugs are a thing. They happen. It's hard to win out there between heat and insects and chickens screaming and, you know, whatever, because I do have, I think, 7 chickens running around. Free range. That's it for this video. Thank you for hanging out with me. Come back and check me out again soon. Thanks. Bye.